Hey, good morning, Judit. Good afternoon, evening. Actually, it's after 5 for you now, Levi, isn't it?
Yeah, it is big time.
Welcome back. How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing?
All's good. All's
Never
good, I
been better.
guess.
Good.
Halloween was just the other day, right?
Yeah, always
My,
an interesting day.
it is. It is. Somebody on the first meeting, somebody just put it in the chat. Happy Friday, happy Halloween, and I'm like,
Yeah, I think I saw a video, and I'm going to say it was on Instagram of the headless horseman. Somebody was riding an actual horse dressed as the headless horseman. That was probably the coolest costume I saw, and it wasn't one I saw in person.
And it only costs one horse.
One horse. It's 1 horsepower. That's all you needed, man. That was pretty cool though. It looked pretty slick. Don't know where it was. I didn't pay attention, but it was pretty neat.
Where did
How
they
about
left
you?
the head?
So there's no head. He's the headless horseman, right? So he's got
It
the
was
cape
cheaper
up over
that
the
way.
it's
top.
the costume, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. It's neat. I thought it was pretty
That's true.
ingenious.
That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
It
good
is.
stuff. Hey, so Levy, last time you joined us for the first time last week, and we didn't actually ask you to do an intro. You want to kind of give us a little bit of a intro for yourself?
Sure.
How did you get into IT?
Hey,
Because you
A
had a lot of
journey line,
things.
whatever you want to call it.
this is Levi. I'm your friendly neighboring IT guy. Yeah. Well, you see, I was always interested in computers. My first computer was a Commodore 64 when I was, I don't know, like 6 or 7. And we went to Austria back in the days. My father was working in Libya for some time, and in Hungary at that time because of the socialism, we were building the socialism, and then he was paid in dollars at that time, and that was a big deal.
Ooh, yeah.
So we could go abroad and change the U.S. currency to local currency, and we could shop. Wow! And the first thing he bought was a Commodore 64 with a floppy drive.
Yeah.
Actually, it costed more the 525 floppy than the floppy drive than the whole computer itself.
Wow. So it was a 5 1/4. It was the real floppy.
Yeah. I mean, there was a bigger one. If you remember, there was a 7-inch. I think
Oh
it
yeah.
was a big. I mean, the old time. But this was the 525. Yeah, the 5 1/4, and that was, I think it was 128 kilobytes of space on it. So big time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And then,
that's how I started, and then I went to a school in my home city where it was actually my third choice, because I wanted to go to a military academy, and I was selected out of I think 900 was selected for the finals, and out of the 900 there was 60 of us who were selected for the second day, and they brought us to one of the military stations and barracks and whatnot, and there was like 3 hours IQ test, and what is it called, this monotonity endurance exams and stuff like that. If you have to do for 3 hours 500 questions, all of them were simple enough, but you have to have your brains at place.
you need to be
And
able
they
to
selected
concentrate and
30,
everything.
one class, 30 people, and I was selected. I was so proud of myself. And it was a full
Congratulations.
scholarship, everything straight from the high school. You got your rank as a, I think it was lieutenant from the high school, and then you go to the academy straight from the high school. You don't even have to apply. And that time it was in Hungary. That was the 1990s end, and they cut budget everywhere, and they just closed this whole school, and the entire system that was in place here. There were different academies, but they offered much lower civil, um, uh, what is it, civil degrees. So this academy, it was good because you had like a proper civil. You went to a proper high school for the normal classes, but you had your military education in the other hours or other times, the afternoons and stuff. It was a full college, so you moved in there. But the others were fully military, so you didn't even have a proper civilian degree. You only got like the military degree, and my parents didn't wanted me to go there. So finally, I went to this school where I selected the informatic, which is IT, as the what is it, major,
Intern.
whatever.
Yep.
And then once I get out of there, I get my GCSE, or what is it called, GCSE in the States. You know, the final exam. No, it's probably in the UK. It's GCSE. I don't know.
No, you mean the high school?
Yeah, high school diploma. Yeah.
High school degree.
So
yeah.
after the high school, finished high school, I said, why wouldn't I just travel abroad? So I went to be an au pair in Switzerland, and I've been a gardener there as well, and a driver. And then I came back home, and my buddy that time, he said that he wants to go to Italy to work, so he wanted to get a degree in hospitality. So we went to hospitality. We got a degree in hospitality. We went to be waiters. He went to Italy, and I actually worked at home at that time in one of the bars. When the postman just ring the bell, I open it up, and he just said, "Sign it here." I signed it, and it was my what is it, conscription papers from military. So I was the asshole. I was half asleep, and I didn't reach anything on it. It just says sign it here, and I signed it, and it was okay. You have to come into to the military for a year. So I went to do my military service, and then after that I went to work on a cruise ship, and then after I went to Germany to work for a Hungarian what is it called, the immigrant guy. He was priest, not priest. What is it called? The Protestant priest. What is it called?
You're asking the wrong person.
No, I mean priests are Catholic, right?
Yeah.
Let's skip that.
Yeah. Okay, let's skip that. Anyways, so I was working there, and then I went to Ireland with my now wife. And then before the crisis, the economic crisis or collapse in 2009, we came home, and let's find some work, okay, and what to do. Sure as hell, we didn't want to go to hospitality, because that's what we did, and it's much more money abroad than in Hungary. And what to do, we speak proper English, so let's go and use that. And that's how I went to EDS, where Judit was working at that time. And I went to the help desk, and at the help desk it was fine, but it was really boring, the usual
It
call
was help
taking
desk.
jobs and stuff. Yeah. So for some reason, I don't know why, I've been selected as one of the guys who've been transferred to a new account. And luckily, at that new account, for some reason, they fired every technicians from the original company when they outsourced to EDS. So everything that was handed over was like a tissue was enough space for the documentations we received. And then so what to do, we needed people who were more technically inclined, and I was, and there were 3 more
At least they
guys
said
there.
it.
Yeah. For some reason they figured, and so we did all the reverse engineering and stuff like that, whatever was there, and I really like that. And so when you did, I did that for 2 years, I think, and then Judit appeared from somewhere. I don't know how.
Out of the blue. But I think you have your dates wrong, because I think I hired you in 2009, 8 or 9.
Yeah, but I started in 2007 or something like
Okay.
around this.
Yeah.
Maybe 1.5 year. I don't know. But yeah, and I still remember when you sit down on the corridor and interview me. We were sitting on the corridor, and
Oh yeah, because that
I
wasn't
was
meeting rooms or something like that.
yeah
It wasn't
I was
available.
making some jokes about your limping.
And I hated you so much.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't really like the joke for some reason, but I laughed in myself. But then I realized that maybe that wasn't. So I, in the learned from that experience. I have a filter installed already between my mouth and my brain.
At least when he's talking to me, I don't know about the
Yeah,
others.
yeah. But anyway, so after that, it was all Judith's fault because I followed her like a puppy wherever she went. So I spent how many?
From
13 years
2008 or
in
9 together
yeah
till
2020.
23. Yeah, till the time. No, 2024.
No, I mean, yeah, 2020 in HP, and then until 2024 in
We don't say it now.
in the other company.
Yeah, but all
One
together,
place.
so that's what it is. All together, it was somewhere, like I said, 2008, 2009 till 2024.
Yeah,
Even
yeah,
when I moved here, you were still reporting
15
to me.
years.
So I hired him like 3 times in 3 different
That's true.
jobs.
That's true. Yeah, and since then I did a couple of things like I did of course a help desk, remote desktop management, and then the application support stuff, second, third level. Um, did coding as well to some level, built web pages on my like a freelance part, and I did cloud support as well, and now I'm back in application support. It's like let's say it's a second level, but it's pretty chill. It's always like a great feeling when there's a change and I'm only testing. That's my job. I'm
No,
only
that's good.
That's
testing,
good.
and I was like, the first couple of times, I was like, oh my god, doesn't work. What should I do? Why it doesn't work? And I just realized I just have to report it doesn't work. I don't have to do
You don't
about
need to
it
fix
anything.
it.
And I was like, oh my god, where's that engineer? Let's see the dev guy. Hey, it's not working, and that was my part. Hey. So
So
yeah,
it's
and
funny, man. You had the
yeah.
Commodore 64 foundational element, right? I don't know. I started with the Atari 800 and the Atari 1200 XL. I think were the two first computers, and then the Commodore 64. It's funny that you had that foundation because you're younger than I am, and that's kind of the same starting point I had.
Yeah, but
So
computers didn't appear when you were at
no,
my age when I met them.
no.
He just called you old, Troy.
No, but the
Yeah.
computers did exist. They did exist. Apple had a product, and then of course you had the Atari products, which I honestly don't even remember when they started making them, when they stopped, and why they had a computer in the first place. I just think of Atari for gaming. But then the Commodore 64 kind of broke the mold, and that's where I think for me the foundational elements landed. And it sounds like you had the similar experience. And Judith, I don't know if you ever even saw a 5 1/4 floppy drive. I mean, maybe you 3.5, the hard plastic one, but
The hard plastic one,
the
yeah.
hard, those are predominantly available. But man, you go back to that 5 1/4, it was actually a paper sleeve with the disc inside of it. Crazy.
Yeah, no, I don't remember that. I know that we had Commodore 64 as well, but we were only playing.
Yeah.
I was living with my family. Obviously, we were living in a very small village back in Hungary at that age, and they didn't really have money either. I don't even know how they got that. But anyways, the only thing that we were doing with my older brother back then was playing Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
That's it. And then my real first experience with computers and internet, that was high school. was that we had this huge desktop, right? Like everybody else had those huge desktops, and then you needed to dial into it, to the internet,
Of
to
course.
do something on the web. And if the first thing that we were trying to do is watching what was that, Titanic, and then you remember how it is when you're sitting there hitting the redial button, trying to get in, and you're just hearing that sound and nothing happens.
Yeah.
And then finally, after a couple of hours, it magically connected, and then it turned out that Titanic is like 3 hours long.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I bet you that was a long
Never
wait
watched. Yeah, never watched back
on
then.
a
And then
56K modem, right? I would guess, right?
Yeah.
yeah. And then, like I said, I got into IT only because my mom found that job posting for a help desk agent, right? But I didn't even know. Exaggerating, but I didn't really know how to turn on a PC. Obviously, I knew it how to do it on the desktop and things like that because I had to do my college degree and had to do some essays and whatsoever. But that was all.
Oh, that's great. Great collection of stories, man. That's crazy. And then thinking about it today, we're talking about things like generative AI. The effects of generative AI on kids and how's it impacting our lives. Um,
It does.
like you guys know, my youngest is well past the formative years because I am old. Thanks, Levy. Um, but Levy, I don't know your kids and how's generative AI impacting them in school.
Yeah. Well, I can see that they're using it, but mm, well, maybe it's just because my older she went to read a lot in her um, first 4 years in school, and she read like I don't know like 50 books already, and
Wow.
yeah, she read a lot, and so she uses the AI for some stuff, but she's not abusing it so far, I think. So
I think it's going to
as
come at a later age.
yeah, probably. But as we already talked about it, when what I mentioned is that I think is the personal assistant part that we should aim for. So you can like give delegate the work of research to AI, but you still have
Yeah.
to do your thinking. Otherwise, like with a PA, if your PA does all the work that you do, your job is at line,
Yeah.
and
That,
and
Plus
probably
the revalidation, right? It can do the job for you and do
yeah,
the searches that
lecturing,
you're looking for, collecting and
yeah,
categorizing and so on and so forth, the way you want it. But at the end of the day, like we said it in previous sessions as well, you always need to revalidate. Like we have this co-pilot thing with Microsoft, right? That the company is paying for the licenses. It's really good. Don't get me wrong. You go on a meeting. I don't know if you have that or you've seen that, but you go on a meeting, online meeting, and then you just hit the button. It starts taking notes
oh yeah,
as
yeah,
well as the transcripts, and then at the end, doesn't matter how long the meeting is, at the end it's gonna summarize it for you with
mhm,
action items, what has been discussed, and so on and so forth, not going into all the details. But at the same time, if you need to send out the meeting notes, you can easily use that after reading it. And then, because nobody can remember everything obviously, but it does it for you,
mhm.
right?
It's a
So
PA.
it's a yeah, absolutely. It's a PA. You can ask questions as well from it and blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, it's if you have the right licenses or the right level for the right licenses, like the enterprise, for example, then you get all these nice little features. We had to do our what's that, end year performance review now, our own self evaluation. You all know how that is. So I was putting it off for days because I didn't know what I want to put in there and blah, blah, blah. So at one day, 2 days before the deadline, I just did a brain dump. Everything that came to my mind that I've done in the last 10 months, I just put it down there in Word. And then I asked Copilot to make something meaningful out of it, and then if you give the right instructions, meaningful in a way that, I see your face, Levi, meaningful in a
Yeah,
way
I
that
don't
it's
know.
not
I
just
don't know who does that.
I don't know, brain dump. But anyways, and it did a really good job. But yeah, had to reread it multiple times just to make sure that it's giving the right message that I wanted to give, and then had to do some tweaking, re-ask again, and blah blah blah. But again, it turned out to be really good. Instead of spending hours on it as I was expecting it to be, after I did the brain dump, it really did it nicely in like 10-15 minutes. I managed to get to where I wanted to get to.
So, there's a reason that airplanes don't fly with Windows OS, right? And my aversion to Microsoft products. For me, I don't use Copilot. I would always fear that at some point in the most critical time of my need, it would give me a crash of some kind, or lose information. So I use the others. My favorite personal assistant's Perplexity right now. It runs great on Android. But I get your point. I'm not going to bash Microsoft, but man,
That's what we got for free.
no, that's what you
For
get.
us,
Yeah,
right? So
They're
and
stuck with
I heard
Teams and the integration.
I heard recently a good explanation. What's the difference between the AI that your company pays for and the other AIs? Your job.
Pretty much.
Because if it turns out that you're feeding other AIs with job related stuff, corporate related stuff, then you won't be employed too much longer.
but
No,
that's the thing. That's why. So for us, not everybody has that license to use to that extent. So because of the cost of it, obviously. And before we got it, there is ChatGPT. There is so many other things right out on the internet. But the good thing in this one is that it's not going out. It's internal to the
Mhm.
yeah,
company.
and that's always that's the selling point, I think, for
Yeah.
solutions like that. So I'm a big fan of AWS, and Bedrock is a great tool for building AI solutions. But in conjunction with Bedrock, you can use Business Queue, and it will give you. It's not. I wouldn't call it an assistant as much as a collector and sorter of data information across all the spectrums of medium you use for storing information. It's stuff like that is fantastic. It's great technology. Being afraid of it's probably in Levi, that conversation we had earlier about teachers fearing AI in the classroom. Well, teachers feared the calculator in the classroom forever too, and it just became a tool. I know there's a downside to technology as well.
There is.
Critical thinking seems to be at risk in many cases. I don't know. I think if my kids were growing up today, at least one of them would probably struggle with not taking advantage of letting the assistant do everything. Critical thinking would probably drop off significantly for at least one of my kids. And I won't give their name or gender, but
It's enough if you know which one you're talking about.
it's one in the
Have enough
middle.
this week.
So, but yeah, I just did give his gender. He'll watch this and he'll get pissed, but whatever. It's
You'll
all
get through.
it's all good stuff. Interesting stuff too. I know, Judith, we're almost at that time for you today. Anything you guys want to close on?
Going to what you just said, that's a great point about the critical thinking piece. I think that's gonna be painful at the end of the day, because right now we are successful in our roles because we have that strategic mindset, that critical thinking, and we know what we want to achieve, right? And we had to go through all the hoops and bumps and everything else to get where we are. But I'm kind of worried, if you will, about this generation that's in school now, and it's the knowledge. They can look up everything. Obviously, it's a good thing, but they don't need to put that kind of effort into retaining any of the information that they are getting, if that makes sense. And
That's a good
they
point.
don't need to find out how to make something meaningful out of it. So I don't know how at the end of the day they are going to be, and obviously there are exceptions, so not generalizing, kind of sounding like that, but that's not what I mean. It's just the fear that I
Yeah,
have, how they are going to grow up at the end of the day and be in the workplace.
and they'd be
Mhm.
lost in the wilderness if the technology was suddenly taken away, right? That's my big
Yeah.
fear.
One
Yeah.
Not going to
sunstorm
be able to
away
do
from
anything. Yeah.
the nautical.
And it can happen, like we saw it right the other week, AWS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Significant
Outage,
outage.
global out. Yeah, and what will they do, right? So
And that's just the services. But there was in the States the blackout. You remember, probably Troy, you remember when there was that winter when something went down in the East Coast grid in Canada
Mm-hmm.
or something, and then the whole East Coast went dark.
Yeah.
And and that time it's not just about IT and your
oh,
Instagram profile. It's your life at stake, and then people should need some survival skills for sure.
and that's what I'm kind of fearing that they are not gonna have because they are so reliant on
But
technology.
but you shouldn't expect the school to give those skills to your kids. I mean,
To some
Excellent
level,
point.
I would.
Excellent point. I agree with Levy on this one, and I agree with you too, Judith. But
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there should be some extracurricular, activities, or maybe in the curricular activities. Because if you think about it, that's what I miss in Hungary. For instance,
mhm.
no classes about taxing, insurance, uh,
That's true. Yeah.
you
At
know,
least not in high school. You need to
taking
go
out
to
a
Yeah.
that kind of.
mortgage.
Yeah.
Personal
All
finance
those
is
knowledge
missing. Yeah.
it's unknown by the kids. And the other thing is like the what is it? Crest in Hungary. What is it called in the States? You did probably
Oh,
the
it's the
rules
driving
and
test.
regulations
Yeah.
of the highway regulations. How to get from point A to point B, not getting killed by an 18-wheeler because you haven't looked around. So
Yeah, it's the
those
driver's
basic
test.
skills would be necessary, and maybe some of those skills that how to light a fire without
That'll
you know
match or lighter. Yeah.
something
Or without
electrical.
burning the house down. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, and,
that's
Or
the
and
other
that's
without
as
that
critical
well.
fire.
That's
skill.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, those things could be necessary. But rolling back a bit, just if you don't mind, I know we are running out of time. But but when the calculator was really a big thing, and it was, oh my God, it's going to ruin everyone. It was an addition to the skills. So it's like when we say that we want to get the help desk work to be done by an automation. Maybe you can do and go and do something more meaningful with the time that you free up. And I
That's
So
think it's
that would
going
be the
to
whole
be the
idea. Yeah.
same, but
yeah, that's a great idea. That's the business mantra. We should talk about that again next week, maybe.
okay.
Oh, we're gonna have a
Is it
great conversation
real?
about
I
Is
that.
have
it
so much
Yeah.
things
real?
to say now.
Is automation actually creating real opportunity for you to take advantage of the human capability, or is it leading to other things?
Yeah, and the fear of using automation,
Oh
remember?
yeah. Oh
What
yeah.
we had to
Yeah.
do and how
Oh my
people are going to
gosh.
lose their jobs.
I,
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
next week is
I
Hours and
have
hours
next
of
so
week is
going.
much
going to
to
be
say
interesting.
about
Please,
that.
please.
Yeah, exactly.
All
Cool.
right.
Well,
All
thank you
right.
guys. It was great talking to you, and
Thank you.
we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
On the flip side,
Sounds good.
Yeah. On the dark side.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank you guys. You have a great rest of the
Nice
weekend.
talking to you guys.
Yep.
Bye bye.
Talk to you.
Bye.
Bye bye.